Hey guys, Dr. Jason Torado here. So today I want to talk to you about the 10 commandments to having a great chiropractic office. Over the years of my consulting, I've spoken to tons of chiropractors. I've really been able to realize that some of the top 1% in our profession, they all have these success traits that they do. And so that's why I created almost a list, what I call the 10 commandments to having a great chiropractic business. So let's start off with, before we get to number one, I just want to talk about, people find that success can be very, very elusive. And success in chiropractic, and success in anything, really is a skill. It really is. It's a skill set. And because it's a skill set, it leaves clues. And those clues, if you watch other chiropractors, those clues are actually learnable. What's going on, Ross? Great to see you. So those clues are really learnable. And if you watch other successful chiropractors, you can kind of pick up on those clues. You can definitely pick up on those clues. You can duplicate those clues, and you can end up having tremendous, tremendous success. In fact, and have success very, very quickly by duplicating what those other successful chiropractors do. So I want to go over the 10 things that I find are the most successful chiropractors in our profession, what it is that they do. So the number one thing really is something pretty simple, but a lot of people take for granted, and that is that you are ultimately responsible for everything. I mean, everything that takes place inside your office. And, right now we live in a community or in a time where a lot of people are victims and they don't want to take responsibility for a lot of things that are going on. But you've got to realize that what I've found is that successful chiropractors, I mean, really successful chiropractors, they feel that they are actually responsible and they take responsibility for every single thing that happens inside their office. And that's the first step. And, they learn that, and when they realize that they are responsible for everything that happens inside their office, they actually start to learn the skills that it takes to really do things inside their office. Like, for example, I'm going to give you a classic example. When I first started up my practice, I had hired this girl. I bought this chiropractic software. And I'm not going to mention the name, but it was really complicated, really, really complicated. And it was one of these software companies down in Clearwater, Florida. And I didn't know how to use my own software that I paid thousands of dollars for. And I had hired this person that knew how to run my software. And for years, I didn't know how to run my software, and I didn't know how to do the billing, and I didn't know how to do patient intake. And I relied on this person to basically handle all that aspect of my office. And I was almost like a victim. And I wasn't really taking responsibility in my office for actually knowing how to handle my own software. And so as soon as I actually did that, I was able to fire that person, and I didn't have to be victimized by that person or even by the software. And I started making money almost immediately. So let's go over the next thing. Now, I have a couple of extra degrees. I don't know if, postgraduate degrees in chiropractic. I don't know if you do, but some chiropractors I talk to, they have DAC bars, they got CCS, they have CCSPs, they have all these letters after their last names. And what I've found is that successful chiropractors realize there's a difference between successful and not successful chiropractors, right? But I find that successful chiropractors realize that your degree that you have, your chiropractic degree, or even any suffix that you might have after that, CCSP or DAC bar or whatever letters you have behind your name, they mean absolutely nothing. Really, they really mean nothing. They don't entitle you to anything. They basically mean nothing. They're almost meaningless. They do not guarantee you anything. You know, people don't come to your office because you've got a CCSP or you've got a DAC bar or anything like that. People have absolutely, the market has absolutely no idea what that means, to be honest with you. Only chiropractors that are paying chiropractic schools know what that means. So those things you have to realize, those things that you have after your name, including your DC, they really are only, that's the ticket that you get to be able to play this game. Okay, this game called chiropractic. It's the ticket that gets you in to be able to owning, you know, an office and running an office and participating, right? So that gives you the ticket to participate, but that does not give you the ticket to become successful. It doesn't entitle you to anything. And the quicker you realize that, the better, the faster you can become successful. Again, those, you know, it's really up to you to create your business and to create your success and market the shit out of your office, right? You just because you got a DAC bar or letters after your name mean absolutely nothing. I mean, I was talking to a chiropractor last week that, you know, couldn't, you know, he had all these, he kept on going to seminar after seminar, seminar after seminar, postgraduate seminars. And I was like, what are you doing, man? You're getting all this education. He goes, yeah. I was like, how many patients do you see in a week? 10. I'm like, well, what's the point of continuing getting all this postgraduate education if you can't even run your business? So again, you know, realize that you can have all the postgraduate education in the world, but that's not going to entitle you to anything, to $1. That just gets you in the game participating. Okay, let's go to number 3. Number 3 is the better that you position yourself, or the better your positioning in the market. One second, I got a car going by here. So the better your positioning in the market is your community around you, the less likely that you need to sell your services. So I'll say it again. The better that you position yourself and the better your positioning in your community and in your market, the less likely that you have to sell your services out there. And you know, so it's really extremely important to position yourself where you're actually adding value, always adding value to the people around you, and always adding to your credibility. And because when you add value to people around you, that leads to tremendous amounts of likability, tremendous amounts of credibility. And it really results in having a unique product. And that's very, very important. You know, and when you have a unique product, and you have tremendous likability, and you've developed tremendous credibility. And again, this is all done by adding value. What happens is people start to know, like, and they trust you. And when they know, like, and they trust you more and more because you're adding all this value, then people will start to automatically they'll pay you, no problem, there's no pushback. They'll stay in your office, follow your recommendations, and they'll start to refer like crazy. Really, they'll start to refer like shit inside your office. Really important. Next thing, number 4, I think this is, right? Not, if you're counting out there, just let me know. Number 4, and that is systems. Scalable systems are what determine your success. Now, that's just not chiropractic. That's any business, right? You've got to have scalable systems inside your office. And what happens with most chiropractors is what? Most chiropractors end up doing everything themselves inside their office, from like taking out the garbage to calling up insurance companies to adjusting patients. I mean, they're like a jack of all trades, master of none. And you've got to understand that some chiropractors do so much inside their office, and what they're really doing is they're doing so many things that they're really just creating a full-time job for themselves. That's all they're doing. And you've got to realize that successful chiropractors have systems, scalable systems, that give them predictability inside their office. It gives them predictable outcomes inside their office, so that the business doesn't really have to rely on that chiropractor, and the business doesn't really have to rely on just one person. The business can rely on these systems. You know, you have to understand that systems, when you've got scalable systems inside your office, that's really what's going to allow you to be able to buy back time. Okay? Let's go to number 5. And number 5 is probably my favorite, and that is probably like my motto, and I realized this. It took me years to realize this, and that is the more that you make, right? And I'm talking money. The more that you make, the more that you can give, and the more that you can give to people, the more that you're going to get. So I hope that makes sense to you. The more that you make in your office, the more that you're going to be able to give to people. And the more that you give to people, the more that you're going to get. And that's really that's what practicing is all about. That's what this is all about. We make more so that we can give more to people, because that's when we're most happy. Now, look, if you're not making any money, right, then, being busted and having no money, well, that sucks. And when you're busted broke, you really can't help anybody. So, God wants you to do well. God wants you to be well. God wants you to be successful. God doesn't want you to be broke, right? Because he knows that if you do well, and if you are making more, that you can give more. You see, you have to understand that money really is a byproduct of the value that you offer to people. And it's the value that you also create in people's lives. And so if you have no money, then more than likely you're not creating value for other people. And so you really have to realize that. So the next time you're complaining, that you're not really having any money, think about who you're helping. What value are you giving to other people? Look, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with making tons of money. The more money that you make, the more value that you really add to other people's lives. And so, the more value that you add to other people's lives, then the better job you're doing. It's kind of like a guide. It's kind of like the proof that you're really doing a good job. So that's what it's about. So let's do number 6. Your business, successful chiropractors, and I found this in, I don't know, successful chiropractors, but it is a common it is common in a lot of successful chiropractors, and that is that successful chiropractors, their office really transcends just cracking backs. Meaning they believe that their office really can change not just people, but they believe in a bigger, I have a bigger idea. They believe that their office can change people, and that by changing people, they can change their community. And then by changing their community, well, then they believe that they're really changing the world. And that's where a lot of these chiropractors really, really embrace the big idea, and that is change the world, one adjustment at a time. But one really, really good adjustment. But it's not even one adjustment. It's really one happy customer. And that's what a lot of chiropractors believe. They believe that they're really changing the world, but it starts off with creating tremendous value with that one person. And that's how you change the community. Successful chiropractors, they create offices that ultimately people really want to go to. They create offices that people talk about. They create offices that people rave about. They create offices that people want to refer other people to. And, it's not really just about cracking backs, fixing necks. It's about offering a lot more, adding more value to people. And I mean, they really sometimes, and there are some chiropractors that are really so good at this, that they literally create movements, in their community. And that's because these chiropractors, they start off with the idea that they want to change the community. And ultimately, that's what they end up doing. Okay. I think we're up to number 7 now. I'm not really quite sure. But let's go over the next one. That is, I always say this, and my first consultant actually taught me this. Years ago, I didn't know what he was talking about. Right? Maybe I wasn't listening to him enough. But he used to tell me, he would say, Jason, if it's all in your head, then your business is dead. I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about, right? But I realized later on, through hard work and, through making tons of mistakes, that this guy was spot on when he told me that. When you're the only person inside your office who knows what the hell is going on, then, and everybody has to rely on you for everything, because you're the only guy that knows where this is, or knows how to do this, or knows that system. Like, that's not creating a scalable business. That's creating a nightmare, right? You've got to turn your vision of your office into scalable systems, and you've got to create templates, and this way templates that your employees can duplicate and follow through, even when you're not inside the office. So if you don't have systems like that, or things that are templated, or procedures that can take place without you having to tell somebody what to do, then you're bound to fail. So you have to be able to, all successful chiropractors have systems inside their office that are scalable, meaning it takes the same amount of effort to process one patient as it does to process 10 patients or 20 patients or 30 patients. And that's from a system that is absolutely scalable. And, they even take it a step further. A lot of successful chiropractors that want to grow even more and see more people, they hire associates to do the work that they don't want to do. And of course, they do that by creating tremendous scalable systems inside their office. Because when you create scalable systems inside your office, then that leads to having ultimate freedom inside your office, right? So when I was practicing, and this is not too long ago, and I was seeing tons of people a week, I had 2 chiropractic associates at the same time, and I wasn't even adjusting patients. That's because I had scalable systems inside my office, and my office could basically manage itself. And so if you don't have, if you're the only guy in your office that knows what the hell is going on, then look, that's not a good thing, right? That's an office that's going to fail. That's not an office that's going to be scalable. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. I think we're up to number 8, number 9. I don't know, Ross. You tell me. So the next one is, let's see. It's for the 1%ers. I always say, just get 1% better every day, and you'll dominate your market. Everybody tries to make their offices, 50% better, or 100% better, or 200% better, or I want to 10x my office. All that is crap. Really, all you really need to do to really dominate and to have a spectacular office is just become 1% better. Like, just 1% better. Look, it's really rare to find a business nowadays that really just completely dominates the playing field. Even restaurants. Like, it's rare to find restaurants that are just absolutely spectacular, like 100 times better than all the other restaurants. Like, I don't know, maybe here in Jersey, if I wanted to go for a steak, we've got a place called River Palm. That's pretty good. But you've got the River Palm, you've got Ruth Chris, you've got the Chart House, you've got like all these other places that are really spectacular. And that's restaurants. Well, in chiropractic, it's kind of the same thing. You never really see these chiropractors that are like these 1%ers that really, really stand out. It's rare. And that's because everybody thinks that they've got to 10x their business, they've got to 20x their business, or 100x their business. And in reality, that's not what you have to do to stand out. All you really need to do is get 1% better. That's all you really need to do. Just get 1% better in every single area inside your practice. That's all you have to do. It doesn't really take as much effort as you think it takes. You just got to commit to yourself to becoming 1% better in just a few areas of your practice. So for example, take a look at your report of findings. How can you make your report of findings 1% better? Let's talk about your communication with your patients. How can you make your communication with your patients 1% better? Let's talk about let's talk about your marketing. How can you make your marketing just 1% better? That's it. That's what it takes. It does not really take much to be able to really stand out from all the rest. So don't try to knock yourself out by 10xing or 20xing your practice. It's not something that you have to do. Okay, I think we're up to number 10 by now. Who knows? I'm not too sure, but let's talk number 10 because I'm getting out of breath here. And I don't want to get hit by a car. So the next one is this. And this is something that I can attest to for a fact. And that is, personal growth is always, always going to end up with your office growing. Now, a lot of people don't understand that. They really don't. They think, well, how is it possible if I can, read a self-help book or get over this particular hump, like my practice is going to do better? Well, I'll tell you this. I have had challenges in my life. I've been practicing for close to 30 years, and I've had tons of challenges. And I'll tell you, every single challenge that I have been able to face and overcome has resulted in me making more money in my practice. I mean, every single time. Every single time. It's like clockwork. It's whenever you can improve yourself personally, your business just takes off. And that could be in your relationships. That could be in your intelligence. That could be in your spiritualness. That could be in your physical self. Whatever it is, whenever you make an improvement in yourself, that's going to result in your business going up. They're just directly related. I don't know, maybe it's quantum physics, I don't know, but that's exactly what happens, and you just have to have faith on that. Your business, and I think the reality is that your business can only grow to the extent that you can grow, or your business really can only grow to the extent that you're able to see. That's why sometimes when you hang out with another chiropractor that's doing twice your business, if you hang out with him long enough, some of that stuff is going to rub off on you, and your business is going to go through the roof also, or you'll get a little bump. That's why sometimes you go to seminars and you listen and you hang out with other chiropractors that are doing well in business, and you come home from that seminar all psyched up and all hyped, and your business kind of takes off a little bit, right? It's because you were hanging out with people of a higher energy. Successful chiropractors always, one of the things that I find is that really successful chiropractors that I've interviewed or I've worked with, they are always looking for advice from people that have been there, done that, or have done whatever it is that they want to do. And most successful chiropractors, I think what happens is they realize that, to do and to have, what they want in life, they really have to be the person, be the person that they want to be. And they really have to be ready for that. And that's what it takes. Really, that is what it takes. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I mean, that might seem a little theoretical or esoterical, but it's true. When your level raises, your business changes. So let's go to the next one. That is, and this is probably the most important one. I hope if you forget everything, try to remember this one. And that is, no one succeeds on their own. No one. I think like big dreams are accompanied, our big dreams are really accomplished by people, not by one person. Now, certainly, you can get your practice so far if you're a one-man show. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you need to hire a team of people, right? You can have, you can get your practice and make a lot of money as a one doctor practice. But really, tremendous dreams and big dreams are accomplished by people, not just by individual persons. You can only get so far. I'm walking up a hill, so I'm a little out of breath. You can only really get so far doing things on your own. At some point in time, you got to check your ego and you got to get help from somebody else. And I think the great thing and the common thing about successful chiropractors is number one, they're willing to surrender. They're willing to say, hey, I don't know how to do this. They're willing to get help, and they're willing to get guidance from mentors, from coaches, from people that have already done what it is that they want to do. And that's key. Because I'll tell you something, when I got out of school, what I knew in business at the time got me to making so much money. But after I got my first coach, and my first coach was terrible, by the way, my income doubled. And throughout the years, I have had several different coaches, and some absolutely sucked, and some were really great. But I will tell you this, that I've learned something from every single one of my coaches. And the more that I've learned, and every single time I have spent money, and I've paid a lot of money on coaches, every single time I've paid money and used a coach, I've always gotten my money back and doubled because I've learned more. I'll tell you something, with the right coaching, I believe, and I think successful people believe, that anything is absolutely achievable. Nothing is beyond the reach when you've got good mentors, when you've got good coaches, and when you surrender and give it up all to God. All right, I'm almost home, totally out of breath here. Goes to show you, I thought I was in good shape. I guess not, going up that hill. If I could help you out, I hope some of this made sense to you guys. It took me a while to learn a lot of these lessons. I just want you to just take them, listen to this video a few times, and just kind of ingest what it is that I said. Because, you know, I practice, and I still don't do some of these things. Practice is a learning process. If you could learn something from somebody that's already been there, or is doing what you want to do, then by all means, listen to that person. This way it'll get you to where you want to get to much, much faster. All right, guys, if I could help you out with your practice, you know what? Shoot me a private message below. I'd love to see if I could help you out. If you need any help with any type of challenges, I'm there for you. Just shoot me a message. Please like this video and share it with your friends. Appreciate you. God bless everybody. Take care.